And we are live. What's up, gamers, haters, fans, fanboys, thoughts, ponies, whatever the hell you want to call yourself or don't realize that you already are. This is the OGAL. What is this? Is this number 15? I think it's 15. I could be off by one, but let's just say it's number 15. Shut up. Anyway, I'll go ahead and let my few panelists introduce themselves and we'll get started, wherever that means.
Okay, so who's first?
Anybody.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Gilligan Stash here, and basically, if any topics that I would like to bring up, anything.
Well, not just yet.
Not yet. We're just
Oh,
doing
okay. Just introducing ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't jump the gun, man. I know you itching. Don't jump the gun yet, though.
Yeah, sorry. I'm playing Thumper, so I didn't really pay attention.
Hey, at least you're playing your game instead of complaining about them, but we'll leave that alone for now. Go ahead, Andre, if you're there.
Well, yeah, I'm here, and yeah, this is Andre, the game idea guy, who just earlier today dropped 5.
Is it 5? I thought it
5.
was 6, and I'm actually mad that you didn't let me know you were doing this, but I think I know why. But move on.
What? Why was I doing it?
You didn't want to be thrown off your game, so to speak.
No, you talking about? No, I'm like, I just did it at random. I just decided to do it and just went with it. Just random topics that popped into my head. I went on and just spoke about them. That's all.
Oh, okay. And Mr. Red Fox, if you're there.
Yo, it's me, Mr. Red Fox. I'm going to shamelessly promote the GVGINU, the game idea guy. His 5 videos were all on point and awesome. Except for those faces he made. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Some of them were creepy as hell.
The faces are to draw attention. If I can draw attention, one of them, I get people to listen.
One of them looked like you were having a stroke. I was like, man, you need to be son.
You talking about the Nintendo Discord one?
Well, there was that one and another one. I'm like, man, you need to go get that one.
It was that one and the Dragon Ball Fighter Z one. I kind of looked like I was just off kilter.
Yeah,
okay.
But
I have a question about that though. I've seen a couple of posts about it just over the last hour. What is up with this Discord talk?
The people that run Discord want to put Discord, the app, on the Switch because Discord is a text and chat server type thing that they run, and they want to put it on the Switch, which would give it another option for voice chat as well as text communication.
Well, I mean, that's
doing it. You think they'll do it?
It would be a good thing if they did, but it depends on how they promote it to Nintendo, how they bring it.
Plus, Discord is really easy to hack. Like, I mean, if Nintendo wants to have a text and voice app that's like really, really cheap or free, they have Miiverse. I don't see the point of getting another one just to.
I can see
that's
that.
weird to me.
And I mean, one thing Nintendo doesn't like is hacking. They don't like. To me,
I'm looking at it like this: if they did go with Discord and put it on there, that can shut everyone up. Like, you have the option to use the voice chat right on the device. It'll be there. You can stop whining about it.
No, it won't stop because in their mind, you're like, well, why I gotta be in the app form? Why can't we just plug in a headset?
Yeah, Andre,
the thing is that Discord can run as a background app. They don't have to make it a foreground one. They can run as a background app.
Andre, they're never gonna stop complaining. I don't even know why you screwed your mouth up to say that. They ain't gonna stop complaining. They ain't gonna stop.
Dude, I already know. And like my last one, I was just talking about crossplay and how that should be the console wars.
Yeah, they're never gonna stop.
Well, they're gonna complain.
Yeah, they're
but
still
you know
gonna
what?
bitch
If it can
and whine.
If it can cut down on some of the complaints, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but they're never gonna stop. I mean, it's like that Puff Daddy song. Can't stop, won't stop. They can't. They won't. It's never gonna. Let me put it this way: Microsoft and Sony could die, and the only game company left would be console manufacturers, would be Nintendo and PC. and they would still find some shit to complain about. So, because that's what they live off of: food, water, complaints.
Well, I know another thing that I've seen brought up is this whole thing about the crossplay and Sony not giving into it. And I think for the first time ever, Sony didn't win when it came to their decision on this. For the first time ever, even Sony fans are like, dude, what the hell?
It would honestly be a benefit for them if they did it. I mean, why not?
They get nothing out of it. Like, okay, the reason they look, Sony's basically saying if you want to play this game with your friends on this console, you better own the goddamn game on the PS4. They want to sell more PS4s. It's a business decision. Like, did anyone see that non-answer that the Sony Europe guy said?
We're trying to protect the people playing on our platform.
Yeah, he never even answered the fucking question. He just like, well, you see, we're trying to provide. I'm like, man, look, just tell the truth. You want people, if they want to play with their friends, they're gonna have to buy. They're gonna have to use your service on your system, and just keep it real.
But the fact of the matter is that they did this now, and people looking at it in a negative light, they'll just say, well, if I can get that game on any other platform, I'll get it there. When the cross-platform cross-play happens, I'll still be able to play with my friends if they have a different device.
Yeah, but I mean, the average Joe Blow average consumer, if they already own a PS4, they're not going to get another version of that game. Generally, if that's their only console, just to play it with their friends, they're just going to be like, well, that's all right, I'm cool. You know, I mean, you know, because gaming is not a cheap hobby. It's not, you know, it's not as it's not like it's not like it's not like it is with a handheld where
no, gaming is a cheap hobby. It's cheap if you like third-party games and you're patient to wait a few months after release. They're very cheap.
Okay, yeah, but that's a smart consumer. Joe Blow, like, okay, let me put it this way. We all have had incidences where people that we know were like, hey man, if you wait like 2 months, that game will be like $20-30 cheaper. You can, same game, same content, get it cheaper, save you money. No, I gotta have it now. I'm like we live in this instant gratification culture, which is creepy. You know, it's like I gotta have it now. Well, you know, if you wait, like, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I have so many damn games. I can't play all the games I have.
Yeah, same situation.
I mean, I can wait. It's like I don't need, like, Ever Oasis is coming out this week. I completely forgot. I thought that game was coming out later on this year. And you know, I'll probably get it like in about a month or two because I'm playing shit now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like sometimes like, you be wind up buying so many freaking games that you just the fact that you haven't even beat a lot of them, it's like it happens to me too. It's like, you know, it's like so many games that I just wind up buying. It's like all of a sudden I haven't really beaten all the games.
Now, I don't really have that issue because the games I get, I basically like if I like most of the games I'm getting right now, I've been getting are like these big sprawling games that have tons and tons and tons of content. So I take a bite here, a bite there, a little bit here, a little bit there. But damn.
Hey, this is actually pretty cool. I just seen a post from Double A. Shout out to him. There was a big Switch update.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of stuff added to it, a whole bunch. Not really in the form of apps,
I think
but
I know what you're talking about.
It's a lot of little details, like they have 6 new Splatoon character icons, I guess. You can lower the maximum volume for your for headphone or speakers, get to the audio jack, change display colors, click the USB keyboard to the dock, all kinds of stuff.
And the best part is you can now add people from the Wii U and the 3DS. That's what I heard.
Yeah, because it's all tied into your account anyway. So, I mean, it's about damn time. Anything but friend codes, Nintendo. Bastards.
But you know what though, man? I can say this. After this past week's E3, I was already a very, very confident Switch owner. Very confident, very happy. And I'm going to be more so starting now from here on out, knowing that, knowing what's coming, especially this year. Camper, man. I've been happy since launch. Hell, I still can't get my ass off Breath of the Wild. Um, but I'm going to be happy for the rest of this year and beyond. And I'm can't stress that enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're happy that you can play these games. You're not happy that you got to give Nintendo all this money.
I know. Yeah.
Like for me personally, here's what I'll say. I was never not confident about Nintendo's new system because it looked like this time they're firing on all cylinders. They know what they have to do. But here's something I noticed at this year's E3 that reconfirmed something that I've long suspected. And I'm sticking with. For people who think that the Switch is going to be a resurgence of Nintendo getting decent third-party support, please take that idea and ball it up and throw it in the trash, because it ain't happening.
Dude, the Switch, I'm going to say it again. It does not need it. Dude, would it be great? Yes. But the first party content and the second party content is great.
Well, I
If
mean,
we
look,
get
man.
Call of Duty, it will be great. If we get Battlefield, it will be great. If we
Well, look,
get
man. I just said throw it away. Personally speaking, I don't give a shit because let's keep it real. Most of these third-party games aren't even what they were last gen. They aren't even what they were 2 gens ago. I mean, not missing it doesn't make it, isn't really making the experience lesser than, But I'm just simply saying you're going to hear these fanboys who don't know what's going on. Well, I'm not getting that system because it doesn't get third-party support. Fair enough.
my thing is, if you thought that's a good reason to buy a Nintendo console, then you know nothing of Nintendo or their
Exactly.
console.
Exactly. Like they don't know shit about it anyway. They just some dude sitting on the corner. Yeah, man, I want third-party support on a Nintendo console. I mean, like the reason people get Nintendo consoles, I mean, they do get some third-party support, but you buy it for the first-party games, the second-party games, and the third-party exclusives. That's why you buy a Nintendo console.
Well, we'll move on to something a little less dismal when it comes to third parties.
Yeah,
How many of you guys have picked up ARMS?
I did not.
I have.
I did not.
I can honestly say ARMS is a very fun game, but I will warn you, playing this game in excess, you'll end up having arms kind of like Quagmire did in Family Guy when he discovered porn.
Well,
You
internet
remember
porn.
that scene? When he went to go to his mailbox, and dude had
It's
an
like, I
arm
gotta
like
check the
Arnold
mail.
Schwarzenegger.
I gotta check the mail. I gotta go back inside.
Because your arms, after like maybe playing the game for 2 hours, like your arms where they fold at, they begin to hurt because it's like you're, playing airboxing. Essentially, you really are. But it's fun. It's a very fun game. I'm liking all the modes. I'm looking forward to the DLC they're gonna release as time goes on. But it's a fun game, and I think ARMS has the potential. I think it has potential to actually match Smash. Now, of course, I know Smash has a 15 or so year history, but I think ARMS has potential to gain as much popularity as Smash.
Could be.
But I know the one thing that's going to, kind of keep these, should I say, these narrow-minded core gamers at bay is the fact that even though you don't have to use most controls, the fact that the game even offers them, it pushes them away. There are people that actually, when a game even has it as an option, they don't like it because they don't like the fact that someone may own their ass while using motion controls.
Or
I mean, no, I'm serious. There are people out there that I've even been in conversations with, like on Google Plus, like maybe a few years ago. And the fact that the game even offered motion controls, even though it had traditional controls and supported those controls completely, like without fail, the fact that the game used motion controls, they did not want to support it because to them that was like they call those Wii controls or waggle controls, and it makes him look like less of a gamer by doing that. It's like
You know
most
what?
controls equals super casual gamer.
That's total bullshit because most of those gamers are buy Call of Duty and Battlefield, and those games had motion control options for the Xbox One and the PS4. So I mean the PS3 and the Xbox 360. So I don't. I mean they're full of shit. I mean
Yeah, I
that's
know that.
just that's
I know,
it.
I know they're full of it, but my thing is, look, man, if you are embarrassed about a game or a feature of a game, something's the matter with you.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, if you have absolutely, positively not an inkling of interest in the game, okay, move on. But if you know you like a game, or at least you're somewhat interested, but you're not gonna buy because it focuses on motion controls, or it seems like a casual person's paradise because it has waggle controls or whatever, something's wrong with you. Because I can tell you, I'm an avid Call of Duty player, but I think Splatoon is a much deeper game than Call of Duty and Battlefield. I think it's a much
Well,
deeper
it
game. And if you
is.
play the game,
Yeah.
it's way deeper than those games are.
Well, it is because Call of Duty is basically about killing things, and even Battlefield. I mean, you're capturing objectives, but you're still killing things. Whereas Splatoon, like you splatting enemies, is like not even secondary; it's tertiary to what your main thing is. So that makes it like I mean, sadly, Nintendo came in and made a deeper shooter than either EA or Activision could do. So
And
there you
this
go,
shooter
folks.
actually requires teamwork. Teamwork is not an
Yeah.
option.
And teamwork without you saying a word to anybody, because literally, like I said, some of these people in this podcast I've played Splatoon with, and we had voice chat. We were playing worse than without it. So you
And
know,
speaking of the voice chat, if I'm right, didn't Nintendo state that the voice chat for Splatoon will be limited to just friends and teammates?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. I really am. And but you got some people I want to talk to randoms. Who in the hell actually desires to talk to a bunch of random people?
Because the people who say that are the same ones who, when you go on Xbox Live or PSN, who talk mad shit, and it's like, well, what? What are you talking about? Those are those people. Okay, they want to troll people. That's what this shit is about.
Right.
It's a bunch of bullshit to me, man. In my opinion, I like that it limits it to just friends and your teammates. Because I think it should be okay to yell at your teammates. I really do. I think it should. If you see a teammate, if you're playing let's say splat zones and your teammate is painting ink all over there like you're playing turf war, you should have the right to somewhat yell at them and get them on track. But talking to a whole bunch of randoms, I don't want to talk to randoms in the not even in the lobby. I don't want to hear them cursing me out because I use a dynamo roller.
Uh,
I,
he-
I just
here's what
don't.
I'll say. Splatoon is a great game. It's one of the few games I've ever played that had there's strategy involved with Splatoon. But I've said this before. Within the first 5 seconds of Splatoon, when you spawn in your spawn point, uh, like based on what weapons your Inklings have, you should know what your strategy needs to be. Okay, depending on the game mode, whether it be turf war or like where you're controlling a certain area or whatever new thing. So really, I mean, it's amazing that they've created a game where voice chat is absolutely unnecessary. Period. Um, if you know what you're doing, which is amazing. Now, with that being said, if people want to have voice chat, go for it. But I'm telling you right now, Splatoon is not the game that you're going to need voice chat. Just saying. Unlike certain Will Smith impersonators who seem to think, well, if I had voice chat, I could have warned you. I could have told you to go. No, 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 no.
Oh, check this
Oh,
out,
isn't
guys.
that the same Will Smith impersonator that also
Ah,
claimed that because of
fan outcry.
yeah, because of fan outcry that we got Metroid.
Here's what I'll say about Will Smith impersonator. Look, man, you need to go talk to Jada Pinkett Smith, because I saw that Dr. Dre movie about her relationship with Dr. Dre before you start worrying about Metroid, Outcry, and all that stuff. That's all I got to say on that. So let's keep it moving.
I will say this. I watched about maybe 3 minutes of that video. Now I was already disgusted within the first minute when, of course, he said that Federation Force should not have happened, and then that it doesn't count. Just because the game doesn't have Samus in it does not mean it does not in any way, shape, or fashion contribute to the story. Now, I can understand how Metroid Pinball may not count, but Metroid Prime Federation Force, when it's actually based on the Federation Force, which is in the same universe as Samus Aran.
Yeah, it totally counts. Like, I mean, personally speaking, when I was younger and I was with friends of mine, like in grade school, I used to talk with my friends. I'm like, it'd be cool if they made a Metroid Prime game that focused on the other shit going on, like the Federation, because that's a whole world to explore. And they finally did it, and I played the game, and it's fun. Is it perfect? No, it has its issues, but still, overall, it's fun. And I mean, listen, if you don't like it, that's fair. Like, okay, I don't like ARMS, okay? I played the test fire, I played the demos. It's not for me. But I mean, if other people want to enjoy it, good. I'm not gonna poo-poo that game because I don't like it. Unlike the Fresh Prince of Texas.
But you know what though? The funny thing about that is, now I will admit, Federation Force did flop when it came to sales due to the negativity, but all the review outlets actually gave the game a good score. It scored very, pretty good. Despite all the flack and backlash it received very, very good scores. Now, I'm not saying it received Breath of the Wild scores.
That game sold under 1 million. It still made a profit. Why do you think we're getting another Metroid Prime? Why do you think?
I think no. VGTR sold like under 200,000.
No, I think it sold. Well, I mean, I said under 1 million.
Oh well, I thought
over
actually I thought it had sold about 1 million copies, but
man, you can't trust VG charts, man.
I mean, I know that, but even I know that as far as compared to other games by Nintendo, the game probably flopped sales wise. So I'm pretty sure they made money off of it, of course.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I know it's going to happen later on in the Switch generation, maybe the next gen, maybe Generation 10. People are going to wish they played Federation Force.
There's going to have lore in it that they needed to know that they won't.
Well,
because even Tender Juice, I haven't played the game, but even Tender Juice said that the story in Federation Force actually lets you know there's going to be a Prime 4. Like, it leads directly into it.
Well,
there's an ending there.
Well, here's
but in addition to that, what this person said is the reason why Nintendo is releasing not one but two Metroid is because of the backlash of Federation Force and how it's sold. My thing is, since when has Nintendo ever, when something flopped, they went ahead and followed it up again? Since when they did that, I think when the Virtual Boy flopped, they didn't make a Virtual Boy 2.
Yeah, but the Virtual Boy flopped hard. Like,
I know.
It was
I know it flopped hard.
I mean, it was.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue with that statement. If that was the case, if that was really the case, they would have said something a lot sooner, for one. And two, they probably had already started working on this game before then.
Yeah, I mean, this game was basically. I think this game was basically just a test fire, if you will, just like Kensuke Tanabe. Show you still got the chops to make a Prime game. And here's the thing: no matter what you say about Federation Force, it's still a Prime game. It really does feel like a Prime.
But didn't they say they have been working on the Metroid Prime 2 for like 3 years now? 2 or 3 years? Oh, I'm sorry. The Metroid Return. I said the one they released in like this year.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
They probably worked on that for 2.5 years, probably.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, Federation Force came out when 2015 or was it 2016?
I want to say 16. No,
2016.
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
It was 2016 because AM2R was last year as well, and that was another reason that Federation Force got so much backlash was because of AM2R.
So let me get this straight. So his logic has to be completely flawed, because if they've been working on this Metroid 2 game for the last 2.5, 3 years, and Federation Force just came out last year, that means that you can't say it was your outcry that made them make these two games, or at least mention them, because one game was in development before Federation Force was even released.
Yeah.
So
There's
that
two
right there.
separate Metroid teams anyway. They have a 3D team and they have a 2D team.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just say this straight up, because I'm not afraid. I'm not trying to start anything, and I'm not gonna respond to them either. But hey, you're using the same excuse as Active Sin. I respect Active Sin, but when Splatoon released their August update, he also claimed it's because Nintendo was listening to us. They had already
Oh
had that
God.
plan.
No, but that
He said
was
the same things. He actually said it's because of us that you got these features. Like, so you
No.
mean to tell me
Oh
they
my
put
God.
everything you bitched about in the
Wow.
game? They were able to do that in 3 months.
Well,
Wait, wait,
3 months.
here's what I
He
have.
really
Here's
said
what I have
that?
to.
No, I'm sorry. I take it back. 2 months, because Splatoon released like May 30th, 2015. The August 5th update, I noticed because that was my birthday when the update came out. That was literally like 2 months and a week later. They can't program all this
Look,
stuff in that
They
short
said
amount of
that.
time.
look. Here's what I have to say to Active Sin and Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Texas. Here's what I say to both of you. If you think that your bullshit had anything to do with a multi-billion-dollar company's things, from the bottom of my heart, for those of us who buy new systems and don't trade shit in, fuck you. Okay. And your little movement and your little Twitter pages and Facebook feeds and all that shit. Look, most of the shit that these companies are doing has been in the works for years. Okay, like their Metroid 2 game probably was in the works. They probably started that shit about 3 years ago. Okay, because you notice Mercury Steam was real quiet for the last few years. I mean, I'm still a little bit worried about that game because Mercury Steam fucked up Castlevania. Okay.
okay.
So
Hold up. Wait, Mercury Steam did what Konami wanted them to do.
yeah, they fucked up Castlevania. Yeah, they fucked it up.
That was under Konami's orders. This is
Yeah,
under
but
Nintendo
here's
orders.
the thing.
Might
They
be a
made
little bit
two. They made two Castlevania games. The first one was ass. The second one was worse. And then they made that shitty 2D one that was ass too. But I mean, the only difference is that they have a Nintendo developer, Sakamoto, like overseeing them, and like even an ex-Nintendo developer is way better than anyone who ever worked at Konami. So they're in much better hands now. But fucked up Castlevania though.
That's my point, though. I mean, we got a Nintendo head over it, overseeing it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be much better.
Yeah, they can't mess it up too much. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, but it gets to me. Like, it really makes me laugh really hard, at least on the inside, when these people claim that now not necessarily them directly, but the people that feel the same way are their collective cries or outcry.
For you guys.
You know, is the reason why Nintendo makes certain changes. Okay, why don't you guys cry for?
Don't go ham.
But
Don't
here's
go
my
ham
thing,
over it, guys.
why aren't you guys crying for complete unbroken games?
Yeah.
Because let me get this straight. You got mad at Splatoon for not having voice chat, but you didn't cry about Battlefront not having voice chat.
Yeah. I mean,
so you're mad at Nintendo. You're mad at Nintendo for not making the Metroid Prime 4 when you wanted it, but you're not mad at who is it, Valve for Half-Life 3?
Which they will never release that game. That game will never come out.
They haven't made any new games. That's the thing. They still fucking praise
Well,
Valve.
they support the shit. I mean, now they did Portal, and Portal 2, but I think that was the last new game they made was Portal 2.
Portal 2,
But my thing is, I'm pretty sure more than enough fans, not all of them, but I'm pretty sure more than a significant amount have bitched in one way or another, whether it be in online forums, vlogs, YouTube, whatever, Twitch, about incomplete games, like broken games like Dishonored, like Battlefield 4. But did EA fix Battlefield 4 despite all your bitching, your outcries? Did they fix that game? Was it still broken? I'm sorry, did Microsoft or whoever fix Halo Master Chief Collection? I really want to know, since you claim that fan outcries are being heard by these companies and they're making decisions based on your tiers. I just need to know if that really happened. And I'm pretty sure the answer is it didn't. So people out here saying that, I'm just going to tell you who it is. It's Shokio.
Yeah.
Shoki is still a joke, in my opinion. He still is. You claim that you and people similar to you in mentality are the reason why we're getting not one but two Metroid games by Nintendo. It's all because the Federation Force, that game had backlash and it was a complete flop. And because of that, Nintendo said, well, since this game lost money, let's make two more games that are gonna lose money too.
That's bullshit.
Because last time I checked, didn't you, Red, tell me that the only Metroid Prime that sold well was the first one at 3 million. The rest of them sold like barely over 1 million copies.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to say this as a Nintendo fan and as someone who's actually looked at the business side of it, not just Will Smith wannabe running his fucking mouth. Here's the thing about Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime is a bellwether game. It's not. It gets good critical reception. Right now, they want the Switch to have highly successful, critically received must-have games. So that's why they're doing another Metroid Prime. Okay, it's about time. They need something to showcase what this console is capable of, what makes it unique from other games, and they need a bellwether game. That's going to be Metroid Prime 4. Mario Odyssey is a start, but you need to have multiple hitters. You can't just have one game, and that's why they're making this game. Okay, that's why they're doing it. Now, as far as people saying, well, it's because of this game, every single Metroid game after Metroid, the first Metroid Prime, sold less than the previous one. But here's the thing: the games got better. Like Echoes is better than the first Metroid Prime. Corruption is better than Echoes. Like I'm talking in terms of gameplay and gameplay variety and like enemy variety. Like they polished up those games with each new iteration. So with all that shit going down, 4 is probably going to be awesome. But with that being said, like Metroid Prime, like I'm pretty sure they'll be happy if the shit sells, 2, 2.5, 3, maybe 4 million. But no, Will Smith and his little gang,
Actually, I wanted to talk about Active Sid for a moment. Because I remember.
Go ahead.
I remember 2 years ago, this is the same Active Sid who actually claimed that he didn't give his money to Nintendo just by simply trading all the games
to remember
GameStop.
That. He literally mentioned that. Yeah, I didn't buy the game brand. I didn't give it to my money. I traded in the games. I think it's like maybe 2 or 3 games in the GameStop. Dude, you still got a brand new copy of the game because
that's still a sale. Yeah,
there are no used copies.
Yeah, that was still counted as a sale, but that tells you how stupid that guy is. He just is like here's the thing. And here's the thing. This dude made a video. Like, it's one thing if people think you're stupid, but then you open your mouth and record a video letting people know you're stupid.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like I said, I respect him. I really do.
No, I don't. But someone makes a video that lets everyone know how stupid they are. That's like you, Dr. Feelgood, saying, you know what? I like to go for bargains. But yeah, I went and I bought an Xbox One day one for $550 plus tax. Yeah, I did it. And I'd be like, wow, you're trying to save money? You already have an Xbox One and you got a triple Xbox One for $550? That seems kind of stupid to me. Like, look, Active Sin, I hate to say this, but it needs to be said. Man, you went full retard. Okay? You went full retard, okay?
Like I say, I respect the guy, but that back then, even I was like, Nintendo, since you got the game new, even though you paid no money for it, the credit you're using is actually still looked at as cash
It's still
denomination
a
used to purchase a
transaction.
product.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
still a transaction. I mean,
And the transaction says Splatoon new $59.99 or whatever it
exactly.
costs in your area.
And the fact it was new means that a portion of that transaction, whether it be physical, trade-in, cash, gift card, still went to Nintendo. So this stupid motherfucker, like you dumb son of a bitch. Look, listen. If you aren't a bright person and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, just don't make a video about it. Like don't get it on recording. Okay, don't write it down. Don't get it on video because people look. I'd rather be thought of as a fool than open my mouth and record myself and be known as one. And that dude, well, he showed himself to be the idiot that he is.
Yeah, but that's how people are, man. I mean, I said nothing against him personally, but people like him and Shokio, I'm just thinking to myself, you guys really do think you are the ones that move this community and you change these companies' decisions. I said, unless you are a primary investor of the company or you are CEO, COO, or something, you don't change these companies do. They don't listen to everyone as an individual. They listen to the community as a whole. But at the same time, they may listen to you. They may hear what you have to say. But I'm pretty sure millions of fans wanted Goku in Smash. Did he get in Smash?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure a lot of fans wanted Gino in Smash. Did he get in Smash? No, this is
No.
skin.
They put fucking Cloud Strife in Smash, and that motherfucker can kiss my black ass. Okay, like let me put it this way: I would have rather had Chrono or Terra or fucking hell. You could even put that motherfucker from Kingdom Hearts, so I can kick his ass all day long. I refuse. I know his name. I refuse to call it. But still, they didn't put those characters in there.
God.
Oh, we got Shadow Fox. You got Shadow Fox in the chat. If you want in, man, just let me know. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I hate Cloud Strife, but like personally, I would have preferred an Earthworm Jim, maybe a King Karul, maybe
that's
Simon
the person
Belmont.
I recommend. I recommend the Earthworm Jim, Vector Man.
Well, I mean, I was thinking characters who got their start or at least had significant games on the Nintendo system. So no, Vector Man. I'm sorry, dude.
I thought Vector Man would have been a nice person, a nice matchup with Samus.
Nah, man. They already had one Sega character. They didn't need another.
Hey, I wouldn't mind having Tails
Maybe
there or
Bubsy.
Knuckles.
Maybe Bubsy.
No.
Maybe Ristar. What could possibly go wrong? Everything, you piece of shit. But yeah. My point is that anyone except Cloud Strife. But you know what? They had been working on that deal for like 3 or 4 or 5 years. So you know what? They went with a popular Final Fantasy VII character. I personally wouldn't have gotten that motherfucker, but hey, you know. I'm an old school. I'm an old school fan. I hate Cloud Strife.
But I like how they use this flawed logic where it's like, oh well, we're the reason they did this. It's like, well, you cried about other things that never came true. Did you get an F-Zero game? No, you didn't get that.
Nah, I'm still crying about a damn F-Zero game. That shit ain't happened yet.
Yeah, so it's like,
but we got Readout. I mean,
but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, but their games scratch that itch. Okay, their games
are not the same thing, though. They're not the same thing, and Readout is not made out by Nintendo. Not made by Nintendo.
Let me put it this way: as someone who has the F-Zero AX arcade machine, let me tell you something, man. These people who keep on clamoring for a new F-Zero, not old school fans like us, Andre, but I'm talking like these young people who never really played an F-Zero game. Look.
Let them get on and get smoked. I don't care, but I want it.
F-Zero is hard as balls, okay? This is not Mario Kart. This is for everybody. It's really hardcore. It's always been relatively niche, okay? I mean, I'm sorry.
But that I don't care. I still want my F-Zero.
Yeah,
look, Nintendo put out if Nintendo pulled a Metroid Prime 4 with an F-Zero game,
you wouldn't be averse to it.
I will be the first person to put up a video screaming like a little girl about it.
Shadow,
Okay.
Shadow said in the chat that GX kicks ass 60 frames per second.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
F-Zero X was 60 frames per second back when people thought it couldn't be done.
Yeah, and we're talking standard definition. Something that apparently most of these modern, I bet even the ultra powerful, super sampling triple Xbox won't be able to do 60 frames per second stable. But a little shitty GameCube could do it, and so could the N64. So what's your exclusive, fuckers?
But
Yes,
get
never
back
gone
to the
F-Zero.
point, back to the point where people feel that their outcry is what's getting this stuff.
Yeah.
There's a pattern that has happened over years, many times, and I've pointed out several times. I'm going to point it out again. That Build a Mario website got taken down. What was in the works? Super Mario Maker.
Yep.
Okay, so AM2R gets taken down after it's been released, mind you. So at that point, there's nothing Nintendo could do to keep people from playing it. They just put down their foot and say, hey, this is our IP. We don't want everybody just running with it. They knew what was going to happen once they did that. They knew it was still going to be out there for people to get to it. They knew that. They still said, like, okay, we're putting our foot down. But guess what the hell they're working on? Samus Returns. So by logic, because there are plenty of other Nintendo-based fan games that are out there right now that don't get taken down. You could look up a list right now and find tons of them that have not gotten taken down. It's only when they have something coming up that's relevant to them or very similar when someone uses an IP that they'll take it down.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna bitch about it anyway.
So let's see something. If somebody comes out with a F-Zero fan game, and within the next few months, within the time that fan game gets released, Nintendo takes it down, look for an F-Zero game to be announced about a year and a half later.
Yep.
That's how it's been going. That's literally how they've done things.
Yeah, but I mean, look, listen, they're not going to do that. Here, what they're going to do is they're going to bitch and complain and talk about how it needs to be exactly what they want or else.
Well, then,
my issue with that, though,
people should stop asking for Star Fox.
But my thing is, look,
exactly.
We all have things we want. We all have games we want to see happen. All right, we all do. There's nothing wrong with that. But you guys are not a company. You are merely one fan, one consumer, one customer out of millions. You know what a business caters to? The majority. And they cater to something they know has the highest chance of producing profit. Mario, would it be 64, Galaxy 2, World, hell, 3D World, and of course Odyssey? That game is guaranteed to move 3 to 5 million units this year. It's going to move units. It's going to push console sales. Just like Splatoon, they know Splatoon is going to move at least an extra million consoles within the first month. The first week even.
Yeah, but can we just be honest? Okay, let's just shut all this down so we move on to the next topic. Let's just keep it real. These motherfuckers are full of shit anyway, because these are the same people who started a redirect movement, spammed me for Star Fox, and then didn't buy the shit when it came out. And everything they wanted, it had. They're like, we want a Star Fox that takes advantage of the Wii U's hardware. We want a Star Fox made by Platinum. We want a Star Fox like Star Fox 64. They got all they wanted, and they still didn't buy the shit. So you know what? They need to shut the fuck up and be quiet.
They didn't buy it because of motion controls.
I mean, it's like, so fuck them. Let's move on. Let's move on to something more relevant. Like, I don't know, Microsoft saying, hey guys, you got to figure out what Xbox One is good for you.
Oh hell! No, you did not bring that up. I didn't read the article, but I definitely saw that. I definitely saw the header. I was like, "What in the?" That sounds vaguely familiar to that. Who was the guy that said, "We're going to play my threes"?
Don Metric.
He said, "Deal with it."
Hey man,
you talking about Adam Orth? That was
yeah, hashtag deal with it. No, that was
But the guy that said, well, if you don't want to play online all the time, we have Xbox 360 for that. That was dumb.
We have a device for you. Yeah, it's called the Xbox 360. So here's what I have to say to Microsoft. It's like they want to. It's like they. It's. I mean, let's just keep it real, y'all. The triple Xbox is Microsoft's swan song for the Xbox division. This is them basically saying, you know what, guys? Here's the most powerful console we can come up with. It's still going to bankrupt us to make it, but fuck it. It has no exclusives. Everything is a multi-plat, or it's going to be either a timed exclusive or it's also on PC any damn way. So basically what I'm saying is I mean, what's the point of having this console? Who's this console made for?
It's made for folks that have a 4K TV that already does upscaling, but they don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, this console is like, who the fuck is this console made for? And I say that rhetorically. I mean, let's just keep it real. This is gonna be a fucking nightmare, and it's gonna be hilarious to watch everything just crash into itself. But oh well, they brought it on themselves. Man, if only they hadn't canceled that Scalebound.
And quite a few other things, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I think instead of coming out with a new with a new iteration of the Xbox, if they had just, you know, like said, hey guys, this fall, Scalebound, Halo 6, you know, instead of fucking Fable Legends, you guys are getting a Fable 4. But no, that I mean, if you're serious about being a hardware company, a first-party hardware manufacturer, you have to have some first-party games. Even Sony, with their dismal ass lineup, has first-party games. But Microsoft doesn't even have that. Well, it's a Microsoft, it's a Windows exclusive. What the fuck does that even mean? I can get it on PC too, you stupid bastard. Oh
Man,
God.
look, I'm going to say it straight up, and I mean it. Since I know, based on what I've seen, this console does absolutely nothing different than my Xbox One S, I'm not buying it. Even the console even the price dropped down to $100. I still will not buy it. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not because I don't think the console's worthwhile, but it does very little to nothing that my current console cannot do.
Wait a second, man.
And here's the biggest reason. 4K would not become an industry standard for another 5 to 10 years, guys. You want to know why that is? Because even in the TV network and, you know, cable industry or whatever, there are still standard definition stations out there. And usually when you have an HD network, whether it be on satellite or cable, it's usually in 720p. There are some that have 1080p. And I know some of you are thinking, well, they have some 4K stuff out there. It's probably less than 2%. It really is.
Yeah.
And I know you're thinking that, well, Netflix has 4K. That's some seriously compressed 4K.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's not true 4K. It may have 4K on there, but trust me, there's an asterisk on there somewhere. Just look for it. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it's not out there. But ask yourselves this. Why did Nintendo choose to do a standard definition or progressive scan console with the Wii rather than go HD? Because even Nintendo did research and they saw that most homes did not have an HD television at that time.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just keep it real, okay? My one troll answer, and then I'll get serious. But Dr. Feelgood, the triple Xbox has super sampling. And your Xbox One S doesn't have super sampling. I mean, but in all seriousness though, look, this bullshit is exactly what it is. Like Microsoft's like who is this console for? If it's for PC people, they already have something for way cheaper that does the exact same shit that they built themselves. It's way cheaper. None of your games are exclusive. They're also on PC. Like even your bellwether, like Halo 6 is going to be on PC. Crackdown is going to be on PC. Why the fuck does anyone have to get an Xbox?
I agree. I completely agree. I honestly just like the PS4 Pro, there is honestly not a need. That console was also a waste, and I think someone just posted an article. I think it was actually Randy Arrowwood, but saying that it was about Sony. They're saying that they expect more PS4 Pro sales this Christmas.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm like, the reason you're saying this because you don't want to say it flopped this past Christmas.
Yeah, because they
of
didn't
course
release sales numbers. Yeah.
Of course, you should expect more. And I even said recently, my wife and I went to Best Buy a couple of days ago. We were leaving Best Buy, and while we were leaving, we saw this kid, like he's maybe late teens, early 20s at max. He was standing up in the parking lot, and he had a PlayStation 4 in his hand. And as he put it off, I got closer, of course, and it was a PS4 Pro. And he was standing up with like I guess like his parents or whatever, taking a picture. And of course, my wife is like, "Oh, it's probably his first console, whatever. Probably a graduation present, whatever the case may be." I'm like, I'm not hating on the guy, but I really feel bad because he wasted his money. He got a PS4 Pro, and me knowing he could have got a Slim for $200. He could have got a 1 terabyte Slim for what, 250, 300. I mean, you bought a Pro that is running many of the games, the games right now worse than the base platform. That's sad. I'm sorry. I said he really did waste his money. He really did.
Look, he didn't buy
or maybe it's his parents' money, so he don't care.
His parents, he wasted his parents' money. Yeah. But you know what? Look, God bless him. You know, he has his console. That's good for him. Me, I wouldn't buy a PS4 Pro if you paid me. Like if you literally paid me, I wouldn't buy that shit. All I'm saying is this: gamers, be smarter with your purchases. You know, you don't have to get shit day one. And look, Sony. The reason Sony is pushing PS4 Pro is because they want to push VR. VR is going to flop, and so is the PS4 Pro. There you go. That's it. That's my prediction for this holiday season. The winner of this holiday season will be normal PS4s and the Switch. And the Xbox One is fucked on arrival. So there you go, folks. There's my prediction for this holiday season.
And we got a comment here from Shadow Fox saying that PS4 Pro and Xbox or Xbone X are what the PS4 and Xbox One should have been. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if they had waited when the Wii U was out, that's probably what they would have made.
But I think if they would have released those consoles, let's say they would have released it, the same consoles we got in the Pro and the Xbox One X in 2013 or even 2014, they would have been the same price as the PS3 was when it first launched, $500, $600, $700.
And they're still losing money on each sale anyway. So even with
I knew that when they said liquid cool. I'm like, what?
And they were like for $500. I'm like, shit.
And Microsoft has wrote their last blank check with that one. I'm like, dude, you put liquid cooling inside of a console and it's smaller than the Xbox One S?
It's like, why didn't you just make it more efficient? Like,
you can't have 4K in a small package to be efficient. It's not possible.
I mean, it feels like Microsoft dug into the 90s playbook of consoles and they were like, okay, we're going to use power. We're going to use all these marketing terms that don't mean shit.
So you're saying that this is the new Neo Geo?
I'm saying this is the Jaguar. 32 bits plus 32 bits equals 64 bits. So which is more powerful, Billy? This is what they're doing. This is some sad shit, man.
Well, actually, technically, that's what Sony did because they say we put in another GPU or whatever to add to the original PlayStation 4, and it's like, so you did a 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah, but that second GPU is fucking up how games run on the system. It's like the Saturn where they added the third processor and it basically made shit more difficult to run because even they didn't know what the fuck the third processor was for. It's sad. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. It's like
It's
Keep on
kind of
talking.
funny. It's just kind of funny to know that these two companies are basically going to hand the ninth generation to Nintendo. And I know people were saying that, well, how is that? You got the Pro and you got the Pro and the Xbox One X. Those are not ninth
Those are
generation.
consoles, yeah.
You can say that they're ninth generation because they made a power boost over their original counterparts,
But
but
they're
they're
still
still
yeah.
even Microsoft said this is the Xbox One family of consoles, which means it's not a new console. It's not called the Xbox One or the Xbox Two. It is still the same thing and will play the same games as the Xbox One.
So I guess my original thing, I said that the Xbox One will be Microsoft's last console. I guess technically I'm still right because this thing's gonna flop harder than a fat kid jumping in belly flopping into a pool.
And I'm sorry, the PS4 Pro, that's also an 8-gen console. They're both 8.5. So basically, and this is so ironic, the one thing that both Sony and Microsoft knew right before the Wii U launched that they could not leave Nintendo in the market by themselves for 2 years, so they rushed out 2 consoles. You have now rushed out not one, but this is basically your second incremental upgrade to your original releases back in 2013.
Well, half a console. They rushed out half a console.
And yeah, basically, because you got the Xbox One, you got the Xbox One S, and then you got the Xbox One X. You got the PS4, you got the PS4 Slim, and they got the PS4 Pro, and plus PS VR. Not to mention the PS Now, and Xbox has their own streaming service. So you basically made a whole bunch of, you created new services and made a couple of incremental upgrades to your current console they released back in 2013 originally. Nintendo's the one that actually made a new console. You guys, and since you just released these consoles, literally, one was right before the Switch, a few months, and one was a few months after. The Switch is going to be the only ninth generation console going for the next at least 2-3 years. They've won the ninth gen by default.
Yep, they sure have.
And then people are saying, no, it's not a ninth gen. Yes, it is, because the Switch is really above and beyond the Wii U in every single way except for the asymmetric gameplay. But it's a ninth gen console, and it does things the Wii U cannot do. You can say that if you guys want to go ahead and claim now, with a Wii U, you can actually play without the TV. Yeah, most of the time, but you guys didn't care about that feature, remember? But the Switch really is play anywhere, anytime, with anyone. 2 controllers out of the box. No TV required at all, ever, for any reason. So this is a ninth gen console. Nintendo is actually, they start the ninth gen by themselves, and they will be in the ninth gen by themselves for at least the next 2 to 3 years. Because if Microsoft releases another upgrade or Sony within the next year, they're going to piss off their fans. The fans are already pissed off.
They're already pissing off their fans. I mean, the triple Xbox is proof positive that, like, because I mean, the shit's gonna flop. Yeah, they might sell at the most 500,000 over this year, but I mean, none of the games they have no exclusives. None. Like, literally, there are 0 exclusives for this console. None.
You don't have to tell me, man. I have more than a few of them.
I mean,
the funny thing, I think I own more exclusives than most of the people that own both these consoles. I own more of their exclusives. I actually own Last Guardian and Sunset Overdrive.
I mean, how the fuck are you gonna sell a console with no exclusives? They're like, well, it's Windows exclusive. No, listen. Exclusive means I can only play that shit on one system. I can only play Breath of the Wild on a Nintendo system. It's exclusive. Well, I mean, it's console manufacturer exclusive. I can only play Mario Odyssey on a Switch. That's exclusive. That's it. That's the only place I can play that damn game. That is an exclusive. It's Windows exclusive. If I can play it on my fucking PC, that's not exclusive, dummy. To quote Red Fox, my moniker, dummy. What's wrong with you, dummy?
But hey, this is what people wanted. It's very sad, but you go ahead. So basically, let's say the most dumb, narrow-minded fanboy of these consoles, right? A few of these fanboys, probably not many, but a few of them have bought an Xbox One at launch for $500 that came with a Kinect. They didn't upgrade it, or they basically traded their console in and upgraded to the Xbox One S back in August or September, maybe around the holidays, and they're going to upgrade again this year. So you literally have bought an Xbox One. You will have bought one 3 times by the end of when the end of this year comes. And
Yeah.
all 3 consoles play the same games, the same damn way. They all require installs, use the same controller, everything. They all do the same thing. So let me get this straight. Xbox One with the Connect at launch, $500. Xbox One S, it launched at $300 for the 500 GB model. The Xbox One X starting price is $499, so $500. So we're talking about $1,300 for literally a single console.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. For people who bought an Xbox One at launch, I'm sorry, you got scammed. You need to go and get real pissed off at at Microsoft.
Hey, you know what?
You know what's
Maybe,
funny?
maybe Microsoft will hear
Red Fox,
that.
this is something that I want to
Maybe
tell you about.
Well, maybe Microsoft will hear their outcries, if you know what I mean. But go ahead, Gilligan.
You know, it's kind of sad because there were times I was considering trading the Xbox One over a PS4. But it's like every single time when I thought that Sony was trying to do something good, they're finally getting the picture, they just dropped the ball, and they did it this year, and I'm just here like, why?
Because that's what they do. I mean, that's like, here's the thing. Sony got arrogant. Sony won the 8th gen, and they got arrogant, and now their ass is up on their shoulders again. Microsoft thought all those relationships they bought during the 7th gen were going to hold over into the 8th gen. And the only thing these third parties give a fuck about is who's writing them a check to put a game on their system. In order to prove how full of shit these people are, Nintendo is publishing Skyrim on the Switch, which shows the special relationship Bethesda has. They're paying for that game to come to the Switch. Okay, which is just kind of weird. I mean,
but Nintendo, I give them some credit for this. Although they may have succumbed to playing the game the way Microsoft and Sony have for years, at least Nintendo is not doing it. They're not throwing themselves completely in doing this for everyone. So if they pay for Skyrim to come over, that's fine. It really is one of the best showings of we have third party support, and here's a major game we know a lot of people cared about. But other than that, I'm not hearing about a whole bunch of other big third party games like Grand Theft Auto coming to the Switch.
Say the truth,
so I feel like you are. They should. I don't think they should have done it. But at the same time, they probably felt the reasons like, okay, let's at least do this one time just to show that we're going to get some games, but we don't want them to get big in their heads. Like, oh yeah, all the third parties are coming. No, that's not the case.
I'm going to keep it real. I would rather see Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Switch than Skyrim. And hear me out. The only reason I say I would rather see that than Skyrim is because basically, okay, amiibo functionality. I mean, we don't know if this game is going to take mods. We don't know if this game is going to, going to have anything really special about it aside from using, motion control, stuff like that, and amiibo functionality. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're playing a Bethesda game, the best thing about it is the mod ability.
But you know what, though? I'm going to go one step further than you. I agree with you. I would rather it be Grand Theft Auto 5 than Skyrim. But here's my version of it. I would rather have Grand Theft Auto 5 without the online on the Switch.
Yeah,
I said it. Yeah. Than having Skyrim with the online or whatever. Like I'm serious. Like I'd rather have Grand Theft Auto 5 without the online. Nintendo Just even if it's the same story, fine. I'll love if you can extend it. If you give me the same game with no online play whatsoever, if nothing else, give me co-op for the story mode. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, to keep it real, I mean, like, okay, Skyrim, okay, like, I'm just gonna keep it real, folks. For those of you listening, Skyrim is a much like is if you're gonna get Skyrim, get it on fucking PC. It's probably gonna be cheaper than what's coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it's eminently more like you have eminently more customization and patching and mods that you can do to make it into a better gaming experience. As far as GTA 5 goes, I would rather have that. Hell, I'd rather have Fallout 4 on the damn system than Skyrim. Because I mean, like, here's the thing: Skyrim is an open world action adventure game, but there's a better open world action adventure game on the system already.
Very true. I agree.
I mean, shit. I mean, like, why would I go out for hamburger when I got steak at home? You know, I mean, shit. I mean, look, listen. Here's all I'm saying. Okay, like, okay, Bethesda, Nintendo. Look, this Skyrim deal, you fucked up. Y'all should have done at least Fallout. Okay, Fallout 4 would have been a better deal. Or a Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas collection or something, shit. But I mean, like, okay, Metroid Prime doesn't come. 4 isn't probably coming until next year. That might be one of their Christmas game, like this year. It's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, it would make sense for you to have some type of sci-fi shooter on your system to kind of hold people over a little bit. But I mean, like, one open world fantasy game, action adventure fantasy game, when you've already got a really good one on the system now.
I agree. I completely agree.
I don't understand that. That's weird.
But hey, maybe they felt that the Skyrim following was pretty huge, and hey, why not get one of those games? Because the other games you mentioned, they also have huge followings, but Skyrim was extremely popular.
Yeah,
extremely popular, you know, across consoles.
Was like, here's the thing. I don't think Skyrim has the pull. I don't think Skyrim has the pull it had. You know, even 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, I think when Fallout 4 came out, like, a lot of the attention went to that game. And Fallout 4 is not a very good Fallout game. It's an okay first-person / third-person shooter. It's not a good Fallout game. But I just think that probably would have done better as the game that Nintendo got up and running on the Switch, because Skyrim and Fallout 4 are using the same damn engine. So, I mean, but here's the one caveat: this will probably be the most polished version of Skyrim ever.
Well, man, like I said, I agree with you, but who knows? Nintendo probably has their reasons for it. You know, the one thing Nintendo is smart about, more so than these other console manufacturers, is that they don't believe in cannibalizing the sales of their own games. They don't believe that. Like, people, there's a reason why they have only one major title coming out roughly every 4 to 6 weeks this year from their own first and second party offerings. Can you imagine that they release both Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in the same month? Like, honestly, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 will be forgotten about very easily in comparison to Odyssey. The same reason why you don't have ARMS and Splatoon launching in the same month, because Splatoon, even though it's a new IP, Splatoon has taken Japan by storm. Splatoon is a big surprise hit for Nintendo. ARMS will probably still get attention, but it will be more ignored than the attention is getting now. Mm-hmm. Giving ARMS literally 5 weeks on the market by itself before Splatoon comes in, and the only other major Nintendo title with online capability right now people are enjoying is a whole different genre, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah,
that's it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe literally came out 6 weeks before ARMS did.
Yeah.
6 or 7 weeks. So it's like, that's why Nintendo makes smart decisions on their most of the time about their game releases. They don't want to cannibalize the sales. Look, people thought it was dumb that the Switch launch with only the major title being only Breath of the Wild, but that bitch has over a 1-to-1 ratio in the United States.
Yeah,
And I think worldwide it's over what 80 or 85%.
Well, I mean, it's been selling game busters for the Wii U and the Switch. I mean, like either way we look at it, Nintendo has made a lot of money off that game, and it's evergreen, so it's going to keep on selling for years and years and years and years and years. So, I mean, I'm not going to begrudge Nintendo their prestige franchises that do really well. What I will say though is that I mean, they're coming out with games for everyone. If the Switch isn't for you right now, they got shit coming out for 3DS. Either way, they got you. Okay, they got good shit coming.
Well, except the Wii U.
Wait, surprisingly, the Wii U is actually still getting a couple of titles, man. Like the game's still been coming out for it. In fact, didn't they just get the Darksiders War Master recently?
Yeah, but it's so few far in between now.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a dead console at this point. Even I can admit that it's been replaced by the 9th generation console.
Yeah,
so it does not surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because look, listen, I think most of the people here have multiple consoles or multiple platforms they play on. I've got a gaming PC. I've got a PS3. Well, fuck my PS3, but I've got a gaming PC. I've got a Switch. I'm good because, like, let's keep it real. 85% of the games that come to the PS3, and at this point, almost 95% of the games that are coming to the Xbox One are also on PC. So it makes no reason for me to really own an Xbox One or a PS4. If you want to have a gaming PC and a Nintendo console. Like my incentive to get that 10% of games that I'm not getting is like, do I really want to make that
Come
commitment?
on, man. You know you want to play Bloodborne.
Fuck no. 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 I went to my friend's house and I watched him play that game, and the ending has you basically, like one of the endings has you basically running after this thing that looks vaguely like like an unattached penis crawling around on the ground. I was like, nah, fuck this game.
What the hell? Okay, you know what? We're gonna end the podcast here. What the hell?
Fuck this game. No.
All right. Well, does anyone else have any other topic they want to bring up before we close it out? As I said, this is very impromptu.
I actually have one.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So you guys probably heard about Dragon Ball Fighter Z and how one of the developers of the game is saying that if there's enough demand for this game on the Switch, we'll bring it in.
To hell with them.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Gilligan, I feel the same way you feel, and I've made a post about it. I'm glad that they didn't come out and make up a dumb excuse like the Switch isn't powerful enough. Technically, it's not powerful enough. They didn't say that. They say the console's more than capable, but like you said, they want the demand to be there. Dude, it is a brand new console that launched literally just over 3 months ago. How much demand do you need when I just read an article that stated that in Japan, the Nintendo World Store in Japan, the moment they got Switches in stock, they sold out in 6 minutes. Can you imagine if you were a person that actually walked, biked, rode a Vespa or public transportation across town to get in line for this system, and knowing that in 6 minutes flat it was gone? Even GameStop about a few weeks ago said that the moment they get Switches in stock, they are gone in less than an hour, sometimes within minutes. People are stalking these things.
Look, here's what I'm gonna say, okay? And I know this is gonna make some people mad, but fuck them. Okay.
Don't hurt them, man. Don't hurt them.
No, because it has to be said. Here's what I'm gonna say. Look, okay, Dragon Ball Z is one of the most popular franchises in like animated franchises in media. Okay, I think it's been overtaken by One Piece now, but it's still a juggernaut of its own right. Okay, the fact that they're like you have to beg for a game, and I'll tell you what. Okay, send a hot girl to my house to give me an awesome world famous BJ, and then I go on the internet and I'll go to your Twitter feed and say, yeah, as a Nintendo Switch owner, I would love to have Z Fighters on my Switch or whatever it's called. But if you're not going to do that, then I'm not going to do that. Because look, listen, people shouldn't have to beg you that you have a console that's hot as hell. It's selling out faster than they can make them. The only reason more Switches aren't selling is because Nintendo can't, like, the supplies to make the shit.
They can't make them fast enough.
Yeah, they can't make them fast enough. And you don't want to put a game on that system that's guaranteed to sell well, because Ultra Street Fighter, I mean, there's a dearth of fighting games on the system. Whereas there's tons of fighting games on these other systems you put the shit on. And you don't want to get, like, that's bad business. But this is Namco Bandai. They always do this. Namco Bandai always does this shit. They're 50,
you know what's so funny?
Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're ass.
And you know what's so funny about this, as you just mentioned, this will be the best time to get in on the system, because guess what? You're right. The Switch has a lot of fighting games on it, but most of those are classic SNK games. As far as modern fighting games for the system, it has none, I don't think. Pokken DX is coming later this year in September, but right now there is no.
There are no new fighting games on the system. Okay, Pokken DX is a fucking
none.
port. Pokken DX is a port. Okay, let's just keep it real. It's a damn port. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to play a bunch of ports on my system. And Ultra Street Fighter 2, that's a port. It's a lot of fucking ports.
So they right now, its only competition essentially would be Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, and Ultra Street Fighter 2 is a port.
This will be the perfect time for you to get this game out there and get it well known, because it has no competition. Whereas you look at the PS4, Xbox One, they have tons of fighting games. Hell, Tekken 7 just came out, so it's not going to get attention from that. It's not. That game's going to be forgotten about. You got all the other Dragon Ball Z games that are on the consoles already. And hell, even the Naruto games. Come on. The Switch has only one fighting game right now. One major fighter. And like as Red Fox said, it's a port.
We don't even have friggin' Pocket Fighters yet.
Exactly. This will be the time. It's best when you get in early, because then you've established yourself. Just like right now, like back on the Wii U, when you had that whole thing with Slightly Mad Studios or Project Cars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
Now check this out. Even I said this game will be ideal for the Wii U because, one, the Wii U does not have a single simulation racer. PlayStation has a well-known franchise known as Gran Turismo. Okay, renowned franchise, been around for about 20 years. All right. I have the first 4 games still. Xbox has Forza and, of course, Forza Horizon. Been around for over 10, 15 years. Those are established racing sim franchises known as being the best across all platforms. You mean to tell me on a console that has no racing sim whatsoever, you want to pull some bullshit like you did? Yeah. It was guaranteed to sell at least 500,000 copies because there's no other game like it on the Wii U. What, Need for Speed? That's not a racing sim, though.
I mean, they don't give a shit about that. What they want, Slightly Mad Studios was full of shit anyway.
I want to add this too, because freaking OJ from Player Essence made a statement about this. He made a rant about this. Like, he said that he's trying to say that the developer should try to give the Switch more of a chance to. He said in the lines like, they need more time to port these games on the Switch, because the games that we got on the Wii U, the ports that we got on the Wii U that are gimped and half-assed, and they didn't do so well because they're gimped they run nowhere near as good as the
because they're not
other platforms.
optimized. It's that simple. The developers never tried to optimize those games. The only games I know that were ports that were actually literally optimized for the Switch. I mean, for the Wii U.
Deus Ex, Human
Deus Ex,
Revolution,
Batman, Arkham City Armored. I would even say
Lego
Splinter Cell
City.
Blacklist, Lego City. Well, it was exclusive, but now it's not. But literally, those 4 games were ports that were optimized for the console in every single way. As much as possible, they really, really were. I'll even go so far as say Black Ops 2. It was optimized for that console. But you wonder why your game didn't sell when you gave us a gimped ass port, aka Arkham Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why should we like? Here's the thing. People are like, well, you need to give them a chance. Why would I give someone a chance who has historically fucked me over? That makes no sense.
And like Watch Dogs came out like 6 months later and literally had no exclusive content, no exclusive features whatsoever,
And they didn't
except
even give us
for
the
map
chance
on
to
the
buy the
gamepad.
damn DLC. It was like here's it was like, well, we need to support Ubisoft. Fuck Ubisoft. I hope Vivendi buys your guys, and I hope Yves Guillemot gets fired. Okay, because he's been a terrible leader for you guys, and I know that used to be a family-owned business, but you guys are fucked. And as far as what OJ has to say, fuck OJ. The fact of the matter is that all this stuff. Look, listen. Okay, if you're a Nintendo gamer, you're used to having third parties basically fuck you over. Like EA with Mass Effect. Here's Mass Effect 3, the special edition for $60, and then literally a week later, literally a week, not even like 2 weeks, a month, a week later, the Mass Effect trilogy comes out with all the other games for the same price. That. And people are like, well, I can get this special edition for $60, or I can pay, or I can get this edition for $50 or for $60. Yeah. Which one is the better deal?
Exactly. So to me, giving these third parties an excuse, they don't. To me, they get no passes. In my opinion, they really don't. They don't. They just don't.
And
I mean,
another thing I want to add too is like the fact that Dragon Ball Fighter Z is coming out in 2018. You know, this further proves that what his statement is kind of bullshit.
yeah, and to me, okay, for example, there have been numerous developers that have come out and said that the Switch is like the easiest console to develop for and port. The people behind Snake Pass said they got the game from nothing to up and running on the Switch in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks up and running. And I think there's an Unreal Engine game up and running. The Playgrounds people now we're still missing features on it, of course, but still got the game coming to the system. It released the same date and day as the others. I don't want to hear your excuse about you can't do it or you won't do it because you need to see the ban. Okay.
Yeah.
So why are you guys making VR games when the VR is not selling?
Exactly. Everyone. Well, we know why they're making VR games, because Sony is handing out money, saying, well, we need VR games to push this PS4 VR. Here's a check. Make a VR game. That's why you're seeing they're getting paid to make VR games. That's what that shit's about.
It's just a bunch of bull to me. Look, if you don't want to make the game for the system,
Just say it. Yeah, I don't want to do it. Yeah.
Even if I know you're lying, just say, hey, if Sony paid you, if Sony and or Microsoft paid you not to make the game, or Nintendo they cut you a check and therefore you don't want to bring it, just say, hey, you know what? We went to Nintendo to bring our game to the system, but they don't want to play ball.
Yeah, just say you don't want to do it.
Just saying you don't want to do it because you get paid, but saying that, oh, we want to see demand. No, demand is there. Demand is actually higher than the supply, and that's where you want to be.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
When a system can't even stay in stores for an hour, or more or less, according to this article, 6 minutes.
Well, that's okay, because I'm not buying the shit anyway, because you know what? I haven't played a good Budokai game since Budokai 3. So, and that was an Atari game. none of these other motherfuckers have made a Budokai game, a Dragon Ball Z game that I actually enjoyed. So fuck them.
Hey, you know what? That's actually a nice segue before we end. I want to talk about this briefly. What is it with this news about Atari making a system? Is that really true?
They said it's real, according to Atari.
I'm just wondering, are they trying to be like the Sega and hop back into the console war? And
Well,
I'm just wondering, okay, you can make a system, but what game? If you're gonna give me an ET remaster, you can kill that shit.
can we just okay? Let's keep it real. Atari doesn't exist anymore. What you have is someone who holds the IP rights in the name, who's trying to sell that, who's basically going to slap it on some type of micro console. And I mean, I guess technically a micro console is a console, and that's what they're going to do. Atari doesn't exist anymore, so even if this shit comes out, it's not going to be, you know, an Atari system. So I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Well, we'll go ahead and end it here. So go ahead and give your sign offs.
All right, this is Get Against Stash here, and as of right now, I just can't wait for the rest of the summer. I mean, I think, I think, you know, I got not much else to say. So I think you guys already know what's been going on. So yeah. So yeah.
All right, man. Mr. Red Fox.
This is Mr. Red Fox. I have some videos coming up later on this week talking about the triple Xbox, FIFA 18, the Nintendo Switch version. You know, just the normal bullshit that we have to deal with as Nintendo gamers. So look forward to that, and some other stuff coming up too this week. So look forward to that. Peace.
And Game Idea Guy.
Well, you know, thanks for having me here, man. You know, I keep your eyes off my content. I did release about 5 or 6 videos today, you know, talking about various things and E3 and other issues, of course. And as always, I'm a Game Idea Guy. You know, keep your eyes and ears off my content. Thank you for taking time to let me time your ears to listen to me and another one of my game ideas. Peace out.
And as always, Dr. Feel Good. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. And as always, keep it gaming.